I'm Sai, I tutor medical applications and I went from 2k a month to 13k a month in 1 month's time.
What is your goal? What are you actually looking to achieve and by when?
To be honest, I think a good goal for me right now is probably going to be I'm currently doing 2 to 3k months, so probably just going up to 5k months for now. But also I'm more interested in making it as passive as possible.
Tell me a bit about where you were before you joined us.
So before I joined you guys, I was probably had 2-3 regular students. I was struggling to find new students, struggling with ads, struggling with outreach. And it was really hard, really. I didn't know what I was doing with regards to ads, with regards to, I guess, the quality of leads I was getting. And I was basically sort of stuck. I was basically plateaued at sort of 2-3 regular students, didn't know where to go from there.
Okay. And what was the result like with us?
So before I started with you guys, I was probably doing maybe 2k a month. And sort of after the ads were set up, after the funnel was set up, it's probably jumped to sort of 13-ish, 13 to 15k a month. Yeah.
Amazing, man.
I remember I was saying this to you. I did one night of ads before you told me to stop because I forgot to put something in.
Yeah.
But even just that one night, I got a client and converted.
Yeah.
Right? So within
crazy.
an hour, I got a client.
Yeah, that is insane. All right, guys, we're here with Sai today. Sai, could you give us a bit of an introduction?
Yeah, sure. I'm Sai. I'm a 4th year going on to 5th year medical student. Yeah, and I do medical admissions mentoring.
Amazing, man. And what were the hours like when you were working before and working afterwards?
Well, in terms of actually tutoring, obviously I was working less because I had less students.
Yeah.
However, lots of my time was caught up in sort of advertising and outreach, and I didn't know where I was going.
Yeah.
After, obviously, you guys helped me out, the time I spent on outreach and advertising went to less than 30 minutes a day.
Okay.
Whereas before I was spending 3 hours just not knowing what to do.
Yeah, shit, man. I mean, I know how it feels. I've been there. What were you doing when you were doing this outreach? So you tried quite a few things before,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. So
Walk me through it.
I did the normal stuff of, my mom was in loads of WhatsApp groups. I was like,
Okay.
let me create a poster, send that out. Nothing really came of that. Did the outreach of, I'm in loads of sort of medical sort of group chats.
Yeah.
Let's see what goes from there. And I also did try Facebook ads. I just lost a lot of money, to be honest.
Yeah.
Nothing really came out of that. I did one video ad and I did a poster thing.
Okay.
But not much came out of that.
How much did you spend when you were trying it yourself?
Probably had that running for 2 weeks and I probably spent £200-300.
Yeah, that's pretty standard. I mean, when I started, I had the opportunity of obviously trying to run it for my dad's tuition center.
Yeah.
But we burnt probably over 2k. We tried agencies, we tried coaches, none of it was working. I tried looking on YouTube, so it is tough. But okay, so once you looked at us, I think on the sales call you said, did you see some other coaches around as well? Did you try anyone else?
So I tried someone else that obviously had the same thing as you guys, sort of helping me scale my business up. And they gave me some ideas. I think one of the main things I did following that was LinkedIn outreach.
Yeah.
And it was okay, but it just wasn't really going anywhere either.
Okay.
So sort of I understood a bit more about the outreach stuff, but in terms of the quality of my leads and everything that came after that, it still wasn't working.
Yeah. I know there is a coach that recommends LinkedIn. So you invested in them and didn't get much of a return, or what was it like?
Yeah, not really. I mean, I think I probably just about maybe made 3k, but 3k sort of additionally to what I was doing, but that was over 6 months. So maybe I made my money back.
And I think with LinkedIn, you're what, directing towards students, right?
Yes, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay. What was it like then? I mean, was it frustrating at all, sort of?
So sending messages out was a bit long, first of all. And I think once they replied, there was this thing of persuading them to get on a call with me, right? It felt like I wasn't providing any value at all to them.
Okay.
And then let's say I was on the call with them, they weren't in a position to say yes or no because they're not the people spending money. So most of my calls from the LinkedIn stuff just ended in no's.
Yeah.
It was pretty demoralizing.
Yeah, after putting in a ton of work as well.
Yeah.
But you said there was a bit of a big change when you switched to our sort of model, running Facebook ads directly to parents. Walk me through that. How did that feel?
I think straight away sort of the authority you have and how you come across in your ads, because you're targeting to parents, the people that are going to be spending the money.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to have higher quality leads come through. And then when you're actually on call with both parent and student, you can actually sort of relate to the parents about where the student is struggling, and you can actually give advice that the parent would listen to.
Yeah, for sure.
And all of that basically means that when you do come to sort of close or, you know, offer what you're offering, they will say yes.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest change. So per call, the amount of students I was getting on was such like a much higher.
What was your close rate like, if you remember?
I think at the start it was like the first week or so it was probably like 50%, and then it sort of actually went up towards the end. I was getting like 70-80% close rate.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very high close rate. But I mean, as you scale, as you're getting tons and tons of calls, your close rate will go down. That's pretty standard. But like, it's a really good sign for me, especially when I'm working with someone who's a bit at a lower level, around 2K a month. You want to be having that 50 to 80% close rate, because you're just going to have, I mean, all of our marketing is very top of funnel. Bottom of funnel, actually. Like, we're very direct, right? We're getting the people who are like very much in this space. If they've seen your ads at this low level of a spend, they've seen everyone else's ads as well. So if you're able to convert these guys with the sales framework that we teach and everything like that, that's a really good sign, right? Cool. Tell me a bit about what you were sort of most worried about or skeptical before you joined us.
Yeah, so I think it was just the same, because I've already tried someone before and that didn't really work out. So I think the main thing that was in my head was, what if this doesn't work out? What if it was a waste of money?
Yeah.
What if, you know, I tried all this stuff, put all this time in, and I ended up nowhere? That was, I guess, my biggest concern. But I think that was all quite reassuring when I first hopped on the call with you and you talked me through stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what made you go ahead in the end anyway? Like, what tipped you over the edge?
I think two things. The fact that you're already like running a tutoring agency gives me some sort of comfort, because I mean, you wouldn't get to the place you are without knowing anything. But also it's sort of like, okay, worst case, I try it and it doesn't work out, but you know, the potential benefit to trying it outweighs the risk of whatever the investment was in my case.
Okay, yeah, no, that's a really good mindset. I mean, I'm not sure if you're going to have anything to say here, but I know your first call was with Chris.
Yes.
Right. Did you make that? I think you pretty much were happy to go ahead within that call, right?
Basically, yeah.
Was there anything that he showed you on that call, or anything he said on that call that sort of got you over the edge?
I think I was already committed to going forward with a plan.
Yeah.
I think it was between the do it yourself and obviously the done for you. Yeah. Right. So Chris helped me decide between that. And I think the way he summed it up to me was like, I saw the value in the done for you in terms of the difference of the money I'd had to spend. Yeah. Because I'd be getting the knowledge, but I'd also be getting the expertise in the done for you as well. So I think that's what pushed me over the edge, really. Okay. Yeah. No, that's pretty cool. I mean, we've got the DIY. It's mainly for someone who they just don't have the money. Like, they have a really strict budget. They're willing to put in a ton of work to try and figure everything out, and it can work. But I always say, like, the thing with these programs is DFY is not necessarily like you get to offload the work and that's the benefit. It's actually that not only is it going to be quicker, the cycles are going to be quicker. So we're going to probably have a better funnel from the get-go. Yeah. And we can iterate on that funnel quicker, and all of that compounds. We end up making a lot more money a lot quicker, right? For example, if you tried the DIY and you were iterating, maybe it would have taken a few months, maybe it would have taken 6 months, but you pretty much hit, was it like 14K within the first month? Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, which is insane. Cool. So, I mean, where is the business now at the moment? To walk me through that.
So, just had my finals, so took a bit of a break in terms of the marketing and outreach and stuff, focused on the students I already had. But in terms of now, I'm starting to just launch all of that back up. Yeah. So filming new ads, sorting out the website, updating everything. Looking forward to just getting out there again and continuing.
Yeah. Nice. So when we're talking about as well, so we hit 14K, right? How many students was that roughly?
Honestly, I think off the top of my head, around 5, maybe 6. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, that also goes to show the sort of ticket price that we're working at. What were you charging before?
I was on an hourly before, right? So it's completely different to what I'm doing now, because now we have a plan of a certain hours. But my hourly rate before was £50 an hour. Now I've got plans ranging from, I think, 2,000 for 30 hours all the way up to 4,500 for 90.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with, I mean, how do you feel about that? Because I know when I first made this switch, probably in I think it was April 2025, I was very hesitant to make that switch. It is something that everyone in the high ticket, sort of any other online business, they're doing something like this. They're running a VSL funnel and everything like that. Yeah. But I always felt like, we're going to lose this sort of recurring aspect of it. I mean, how did you feel about it?
I think at the start it was really weird, because it's like, I mean, I'm so used to telling parents an hourly price, right?
Yeah.
And I still sometimes received resistance on an hourly price.
Yeah.
And so then coming to parents saying like a massive sum of money, it feels really strange to do so.
Yeah.
However, thinking about it, you're guaranteeing sort of more hours if you do a plan rather than if you propose an hourly, as well as commitment and all of that stuff as well.
Yeah. And we'll walk through your offer structure and everything that we built out in a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, fundamentally what you have to do is, because everyone in this market is doing what you were doing before, reaching out on WhatsApp groups, etc., right? They're all charging hourly prices. It's just a race to the bottom, you know? So this massive sort of overhaul that we made, switching it to an outcome that we're going to provide for a certain number of, for a certain price, that makes a massive difference. And in terms of like, when you're looking at scaling, you saw, so 5 students brings you like 14K, right?
Yeah.
So all you realistically have to do is sign up 5 new students every single month, you know? Or if that's, for example, with med, maybe it's a bit more seasonal, still like you can sign up 50 within a year, and that's 140K, right?
That's true, yeah.
So that's the maths behind something like this. Walk me through, as soon as you joined, what was it like? How long did it take for you to see like a big win?
Cool. So as soon as I joined, you obviously sent me out the form that I filled in to make sure that you guys built me the offers and the website. I think the offer template came through within like 2-3 days.
Yeah.
So I just looked through that, was like, that's all cool. Something else I forgot to mention was I wasn't offering UCAT like prep as a thing, and that actually fills my summer up, whereas before I didn't really have that. So continuity wise, that was good. But reviewed the offers, reviewed the templates, then website came like a week after, maybe less than a week, and then ads. So ads took another week, just because it took a bit of a while for me to film.
Yeah.
So within two-ish weeks, really, I was up and sort of doing outreach, I guess.
Yeah, and as soon as the ads are live, what was it like? What happened next?
So ads, honestly, I remember I was saying this to you. I did one like night of ads before you told me to stop because I forgot to put something in.
Yeah.
But even just that one night, I got a client and converted. Right? So within
crazy.
like an hour, I got a client.
Yeah, that is insane, man. That is insane.
Yeah. Since then, it's been like at least 2-ish clients a week from there.
Yeah. Really good shit.
Yeah, cheers.
I mean, you kind of answered this. What was like the best moment since starting? Like when you think like, oh shit, this is going to work, you know?
I think it's that first client really. And the fact that it came so quickly, for me, there's 2 things, right? It was the fact that I didn't waste any money because that's sort of all the effort and all the money I poured into it, I basically got back. So it's now just like a risk-free investment, I guess.
Yeah.
But the fact that it worked so quickly also meant that I was doing something, right? And it was my first time I closed such a big number, I guess, in terms of money. So I was like, this clearly works. Even though I felt really awkward at the start, giving like such a big plan out.
Yeah. I mean, that's I fortunately get to advertise that now because you spent like 40 quid and you got like a 36x return.
That's crazy.
From that. Obviously that went down longer term. But even long term, it's still like a really big return that you've got so far. Okay. I mean, what can you do now that you couldn't do before working with us?
Loads of things, I think. So first of all, thinking about the bigger picture just in terms of mentoring, right? In terms of it shouldn't really be an hourly thing. It should be more, I guess, marketing towards the results that the student's going to get, and therefore allowing me to offer like a package. That really helps in terms of commitment and not having to worry about students like every week, because if it was hourly, they might just drop out any week. The second thing is, I think, actually doing the calls, right? So I think that I've never had an experience like that in terms of, I guess, almost doing sales calls, right?
Yep.
It's very different and you need to learn quite a few skills for that. But the document that you guys gave me helped in terms of that. There was like a script that I could follow. There was sort of pointers that I could use and all of that stuff, which was nice. And also like the marketing aspect of things. Obviously, when I tried to do it myself, I had no idea what half of the stuff was. I had no idea like how to filter for like quality of leads and all of that stuff. But yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. And almost proves, because people will get into tutoring and they'll think, okay, I'm going to be tutoring all day.
Yeah.
You know, and you've literally mentioned everything that is not tutoring.
True, yeah,
you know? And I always say this, tutoring, these companies, they are sales and marketing companies, okay? So when you are scaling, obviously at some point you're going to hire out tutors, you're going to train them. You have a bit of that, so managing tutors and things like that.
Yeah.
But the majority of your time is upskilling in sales and upskilling in marketing, right? And that makes you money not only in this business, but if you ever decide to transfer to a different business, it makes you money there as well. So it's a massive skill to learn. And okay, final few questions there. So if you met another tutor who was in the same position as you, around 2 to 3K a month, and they're maybe thinking about working with us, what would you say to them?
Go for it. I don't think you have anything to lose, genuinely. Listen, worst case, you learn a lot of information that's useful that you can carry out and execute. Best case, you obviously make a lot of money. And I think, to be fair, I actually did get someone reach out to me after you posted one of my results.
Okay.
And I already said, like, go for it. There's literally nothing wrong with it.
Sick, man. And is there anyone that you think this program is not for? Any specific type of tutor?
I think it's the same for most people, right? But if you're obviously not willing to put in the work and you expect results to come through without you doing anything, then it's obviously not going to be for you.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
But apart from that, it's literally applicable for everyone.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'd say that, and on top of that is like, mindset can be a big thing. Obviously, we can help with that, but if you're like super skeptical, I get people coming to me saying like, Facebook ads don't work, you know, or I've tried them before and they're not going to work. Or they're just super unwilling to do any form of investment into themselves, you know. And I think those type of people, it takes a long time to switch their mind. And to be honest, I'd just say like, there's no point. Like you can do what you can do it yourself. I'd probably not want to work with someone like that as well, right? I think it's really important to have a culture with the people that you bring on. And it's the same thing when it comes to tutoring as well. Obviously at the start, you kind of have to take on anyone you can. But as you grow, you are going to also become a bit more disciplined with the type of people that you bring on. I'm not sure if you've seen that yet, but there will be clients that are going to come to you. They're going to be asking for discounts. They're going to be asking for XYZ, right? And you're going to figure out at some point, actually, I just don't take these people on because they just create a massive headache, right? Cool. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to pretty much walk through what we did for Sci. So, I mean, to start with, it's pretty much like you mentioned. The big thing that we have to do is switch the offer structure, right? We have to move away from an hourly to a package structure. The reason being, I mean, do you have any thoughts on like why we have to do that?
I mean, in terms of what I said, I think having a big offer that students commit to means that you don't need to worry about when they're going to leave, first of all. Second of all, you're basically guaranteeing a student for a long period of time instead of like short term.
Exactly. And what that's called is LTV, right? So that's lifetime value. And basically what we have to do is we have to make sure that each student brings a high lifetime value. So that's the amount of money you collect from them for their entire lifetime with you, right? So by making a package with a strong outcome and a strong guarantee, you're making sure that, like you mentioned, they're not going to leave immediately. The thing with lifetime value, why it's so important, especially in advertising, is because when you're doing Facebook ads, you're going to have a cost per acquisition or CAC, right? Are you familiar with CAC?
I know you mentioned it, but it's gone off.
That's all cool. Like this is stuff that we continue to teach and continue to drill our clients like you, right? Because what it comes down to, as these guys can see on the screen, is the fundamental metric that we're measuring with Tutoring Business is your CAC to your LTV ratio, right? So it's how much money are you spending on your Facebook ads to how much return are you bringing from each client. And you have to obviously get an average of all of your clients. But at a minimum, you want it to be 1 to 3. So every pound you spend on ads, you're going to make £3 back, right? And ideally it's in profit, right? Now your one is obviously like way off the charts. It's like much more. And that just means if you want to make more money, all you do is put more money into the ads. Obviously, you have to make sure you have the back end to actually deliver to these guys. But that's what we're working towards. So that's why we go ahead and make a structure like this where we can collect a decent amount up front. So the another concept that we're looking at is 30-day cash, like the amount of money that we bring in within that 30 days. It has to be higher than your CAC, right? So the idea behind that is if you're spending £100 for every student that you're acquiring, ideally you make that £100 back from the student within that 30-day period.
Right? Okay, makes sense.
And a lot of people in this space, I'm not sure if you're like, are you much of a Hormozi fan, Alex Hormozi?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. So he'll talk about this all the time, right? And the idea behind this is again, if you're breaking even within the first month and then you're just making a bunch of money afterwards, what you can do, and what he does as well, is you can put lots of money on a credit card, you can spend money on the ads, and you can consistently just bring in more money, right? Now, obviously, to be safe, we go for a 1 to 3.
Sure.
So if we spend £100 on ads, we make £300 back minimum within that 30 days, you can obviously put more money into that, right? And that's what we've done here. So we've got this sort of ultimate program that we built for you, 4,500. And we've got this split pay as well. Did most of your clients take split pays?
Yeah, so towards the start, loads of my clients did take split pay just because it was, I guess it made more sense to them in their head.
Yeah.
But sort of towards the end, something that you told me, sort of Klarna allows me to get more like cash in the bank straight away. So I pushed that a bit more. And that really helped in terms of, like you said, getting the money in within 30 days. That's really helpful.
Yeah, exactly. And having that cash, it's super useful because, I mean, you need to be prepared for a rainy day. You need to be prepared to be able to put more money into ads. So the more you can collect up front. I was, back in the day, I thought, okay, let me not use Klarna because it charges a 6% fee. But it's actually just more important to have that collected, right? And it's also less likely that they're going to like sort of ghost you and stop paying you.
Yeah.
Cool. So in terms of, as soon as we built that offer, next thing is building out these ad scripts, right? And obviously the sales script, the VSL script, all of that stuff. We got you to record 10 ads in one go. Now, the most important thing, and that's also a reason why we're going to get you to re-record some studio ads, right, is perception. As you're going to know, it's brand perception. Like, people will make a decision based on what they see within like the first few seconds. And that's why, like, I was really hammering in, like, okay, let's get you in scrubs, let's get you wearing a stethoscope, all of this stuff, because I've seen people trying to run ads when they're sort of just in a shirt in their room, and like the difference is night and day, you know. But hopefully we'll see how things perform once we get you some even better sort of 4K camera quality, all of this stuff. And in terms of, we got the ads scripted, you got them recorded, we built that funnel, we built out all of the back-end systems, so the SMS and the email automations. And the sort of final thing is the sales script. You already touched on this. Obviously, a sales script is really important. These are sales calls. And this is usually another area that this is going to be like the biggest area for you to improve in. Right. Sure. Do you remember much about the retie that we talked about? That's all good. I mean, fundamentally, because we've had such a good front end, you haven't had to actually struggle with sales. But at some point it could become a struggle, and that's where we need to focus in. So the retie, I always sort of mention this, is super important. It's one of the sort of biggest factors to improve your sales script, and all you have to do is follow the script, you know. And what it comes down to is, once they give you an objection, so they tell you this is too expensive or I need to think about it, you actually start off by saying, well, I understand, just in terms of everything we've gone through, does this feel like what you've been looking for, right? Do you feel like this is going to get you the result? Then you ask them to sort of repeat it back to you. Why would it get you the result, right? And after you've done that, you walk them through. So this is really useful for you, right? Because we like to tie the offer and the pricing of the offer to the actual outcome that they're going to get. So their outcome obviously is 6 years down the line, they're going to be a doctor, right? And even past that, as soon as they're a consultant, they're going to be earning 100, 200K a year. You can talk about their lifetime earnings as a doctor. They're going to be getting $1 million plus as their lifetime earnings. So you just say, well, would this 3,500 investment be worth the $1 million plus lifetime earnings that you're going to get, right? And it makes it much easier once it's put in that frame. Almost everyone will say, yes, it's worth it, right? And then all you have to do is figure out the finances, you know. So we'll touch on that, and we'll see if that comes up in your following sales calls once we turn these ads back on. That's pretty much everything in terms of how we got this structured. You get the offer structured, you get the ads up, you get the funnel ready, and then you pretty much turn it live. And as you mentioned, you start selling, man. In terms of next steps, I feel for you, as obviously we want to get these ads up and running, get this new VSL, everything up, and pretty much we want to take you to capacity. That's the goal. As soon as you're nearing capacity, then exactly what we just talked about, we have to look at how do we put in the right systems, put in the right hires, so that the capacity is filled. And that's literally what it comes down to. So supply and demand, right? Tutors are usually demand constrained because it's very difficult to find people. But as soon as you fill up that demand and you're supply constrained again, you need to get more people in, more hires. You just want to hire as quickly as possible. You know, what we've done is with our 11 plus tutoring business, we just hired a bunch of tutors. We hired like 50 tutors in one go.
Okay.
Just so we were prepared for the rest of the year, you know. And after that as well, what you'll get is if you get a massive bank, because you hire med students, we also hire med students, right? Once you get a massive bank, people start referring each other as well. So it becomes really easy. So if you're able to do that as well, you can set yourself up in advance. That's a really good option as well. But yeah, that's everything I've got at least. You have no other questions, yeah?
No.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so that is the end of the case study. And if you want a full course and you want to see exactly how we do this, then you can watch the video that's on the screen now. Appreciate you guys watching, and thank you, Sai, today.
Cheers.